Putting a bit rate up, are you, mate?
Oh, hello, good evening, welcome back. IIRL back live for another week of streams. Round 12 of 22. Got Padge with me tonight. Hello, Padge.
Oh, mate, how's it going?
Yeah, not bad, thanks. Yourself?
Yeah, pretty good. It's good to be back and streaming your great self tonight.
With my great self.
They paid me to say that.
Unfortunately, we don't get paid. I wish we did. But...
Oh yeah, anyway. It will happen, don't worry.
Yeah, if anyone wants to drop us a cheeky fiver, let us know in the chat.
All donations accepted.
And we've got a couple of milestones this evening, Padge.
I know.
So tonight is your 25th IIRL stream.
Amazing. They soon fly by, don't they?
They do. And
yours?
tonight is my 50th. Gosh, I feel old.
Yeah, you're still a lot younger than me, so don't worry.
But no, it's nice to hit a milestone together. I think it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because yeah, we do a lot behind the scenes in the league, and I think some hit a milestone because you kind of think, oh yeah, the hard work.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's definitely nice
So,
to get these compliments as well.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure to stream for so long.
Yeah, it's great.
Any
Isn't it?
feedback on the streams, I'm really happy to have any feedback, whether you think it's perfect and nothing should change, or whether we should change everything. I don't mind. So yeah,
It's all good. I mean, what is it? Let's say criticism. It either makes you or breaks you, doesn't it? I think you can either learn from criticism or it dampens your confidence a little bit. Yeah. Good that you can always learn. Thank you, Snacks.
Evening, Joseph, Snacks, Goldilocks. Hope you're all well.
Hello, Goldilocks. Thank you again for your generosity these past month or so.
Certainly, it's nice to kind of have some outside viewers joining in with the streams as well.
Yeah, it's lovely. Are you a fan of this track, Sun God?
I think I enjoy it, but I can't say that I'm quick. I don't think it's a pad track with the...
No, it's definitely not, I don't think.
The quick corners in Sector 1 and the slow section, I think, favours the wheel.
Yeah, I agree with
But
that.
it's all to do with setup, and I never get a good setup somehow. So yeah, I mean we'll see on Thursday night how we do, but I haven't done any practice yet, so
Yeah, I'm sure
Not really.
I'll get a hang of it eventually.
you think too much of me, Padge.
You managed to do better than you thought last week.
Pad track, innit?
Yeah. Good evening, back to back Aquarius. Chives.
Still on controller, says Chillers. Okay.
Yeah, he's got a bit boring
we'll
company tonight.
We'll do a track tour with Mr. Wiggles.
Let's go. Don't spin it.
DRS all the way down to the line. Short run between the line and turn 1. So a good start is needed to make sure you get some places on the start. Turns 1 and 2, fast, easy to invalidate. Turn 3, more of a guide on the racing line for the tricky chicane, turn 4 and turn 5, which tightens. Get a nice line into 6, and careful on that throttle on the exit. Through the long turn 7, easy to invalidate again. Turn 8, in the wet conditions that will not be flat out, but we won't see any of that tonight. On the run down to the middle chicane, originally this massive 2 straights was one combined straight, but they added in this tricky tight chicane, which is an action point in the race. You will see a lot of moves going into those chicanes tonight. No DRS, because you've got this flat out right-hander here, which again you can go side by side in, and also in this very, very long right-hander. Looks like 2 corners, but just one long, prolonged right-hander there. Into a left, it does tighten on the exit, so make sure you kind of drift wide and cut inside for it. Again, that right-hander just sets you up for this left here. Turn 14 and 15, the final corner. Some people like to take a tight line through that, others like to sweep from the outside to inside and back with the DRS down the main straight, and Wiggles currently is fastest.
No surprise there.
So yeah, what are your opinions on this track patch?
Yeah, I mean, I was doing pretty good in practice before. I was putting some not so bad laps. It's a nice track, but the traction is very difficult on this track. But there are some nice corners.
It's got a mix of everything. It's got fast straights, it's got slow corners, it's got long corners, it's got fast corners. It's very much a driver's track.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think
you're,
like sector 1 is like a wheel, and then I think the last sector is not too bad with the pad.
The last couple of corners are tricky with the pad, but it just depends on setup really. Some will be quick in sector 3, others will be really quick in sector 2.
Yeah, there was like a 4-tenth difference between people in the middle sector in practice.
I think Pete's backed off his time here and actually giving his teammate 1010 a slipstream, which is very nice of him. Nice to see 1010 back. Obviously brand new McLaren livery, which we saw over the weekend at the Japanese Grand Prix.
Yeah, it looks really nice.
That means the Ferrari livery, I believe, is gone.
Yeah, it's a shame. I quite liked it.
Well, Chibbers is on the pad and has done a 31.6, so clearly not very slow. Whole second ahead of his teammate at this moment in time.
Yeah, he needs to sell his wheel, I think. Get an elite controller.
Well, Chibbers has always been quick in quali. I think he's better in quali than the race.
Ooh, Mr. Wills retired. Is that in the pits?
Yeah, both in the pits there with Tamino as well. Otherwise, formerly known as Ghost Tamino, but
yeah,
NVR now.
Okay.
I have to admit, that's a league I've not heard of.
No, I've not heard of that one. Gonna do some
Maybe he's gone for an easy league so we can get easy wins.
Yeah. Yeah. Very quick, isn't he, Tamino?
Yeah. Way too quick. Hello Wiggles, hello Novatech, hello Snacks.
Hello Novatech, Mr. Wiggles.
Let me know if my mic's
missed. I've got that audio compression thing on now, so it might be okay now.
Oh, audio compression sounds a bit posh, doesn't it?
Yeah, in the party, you can turn it on now, and it blocks out.
Oh, really?
I could go make a drink and you won't hear the kettle and stuff. It's pretty good.
Oh, that's good, actually. That's a
Yeah.
nice little addition.
Mr. Wiggles couldn't hear my wheel rotating, so that must be a good thing. Noise suppression, that's good.
Fairly picking up from where he left off. Last two races have been wins.
Patrick, I think he's on for the quadruple tonight, I think.
Actually, no, he won in Canada as well, so he has 3 wins on the trot.
Yeah, I told him when you got the new seat, you can't win any more races, so we made it deal.
So yeah, second place in Monaco, didn't show up in Baku, won at Canada, won at Silverstone with fastest lap and got driver of the day. Donated his £15 voucher to Mind Mental Health Charity.
Oh, nice one. That means a lot.
Scored a win in the feature race last week in Austria, but didn't score any points for the sprint race. So
okay.
At the moment he is, how many points is that? 89 points away from the championship leader, who is Ross.
Is it?
Ross leads by 56 points, so 2 wins here. Ross is clear of the rest of the pack. Mr. Wiggles in second at the moment.
What's the gap again? 62 points?
56 points.
Wow.
Between first and second. So Ross here. Obviously, if Fairley carries on, it will be a very close end to the season. But at the moment, Ross is looking pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
He seems to do better in no assist than assist tier 1, Ross.
Yeah, he's, I think, there's a few aliens in A2 in there, really. With assists.
Certainly. Q1, of course, 18 minutes, but only 16 drivers here this evening. Still a good crowds, but it means only one of them will drop out in this first session. So once we get some more competitive times from Flu, Greg, Wee, Perry Jerry, Deaton and Dayman, we'll have more of an idea of who might be in the drop zone.
Yeah, I know John didn't do much practice, so he's probably going to use Q1 to do a few laps. He's done 4 at the moment.
If later Wheat on his second run jumps up to 6th place, and that should be pretty comfortable in that mix there with 1010, Shivers, that guy. It's a nice little crowd to be part of. Certainly not going to be worried about heading out in Q1 for everyone in those 1 minute 31s.
Yeah, I don't think anyone wants to be 16th, do they?
I mean, it's an easy track to invalidate at, so
it is.
Really it's who can get a clean lap. That might be what it comes down to in quali tonight. We might see a shock exit in Q1 or Q2.
Yeah, just the bottom 4 haven't really done a very quick lap yet.
Feature driver returns tonight. Didn't have one last week. But tonight will be our resident Frenchman, Flu. I always save his feature driver for the French Grand Prix. So I'll tell you more about Flu, about him as a person, and about how he's done in IRL historically, as Perry Jerry goes 4th.
Never gives us any troubles, or always turns up every week.
Yep.
He's a good lad, Flo is.
Unsung hero.
Yeah, definitely.
I think he's the only Frenchman in our league. Can you think of anyone else?
I think there is like a couple more.
Maybe I just don't know every single person's nationality, but certainly the only one I can think of.
Yeah. So
Deaton is out on track, as is Greg. try and improve.
Pure Nagwell, he's a fence as well.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Quick alien. I beat you, Josh. Sorry, mate. I beat you. Yeah. Well done, Josh. Yeah, he's French.
See, I thought he was Belgian because he's good friends with Ripley, who's Belgian as well.
Yeah, that's true. They're from all over the
But I
planet.
just assumed wrongly.
That's okay. This can easily happen.
Evening, Fairley.
Good evening, Fairley. Take it easy tonight, yeah.
How's Sun and Padge? Yeah, we're good, thanks.
Yeah, we're good, thank
Milestones
you.
tonight.
Yeah, milestones tonight. That's more important than the
Padge's
racing tonight.
Padge's 25th IRL stream, my 50th, so we're loving life in the commentary booth tonight.
Yeah, level it.
So, Greg, to the line. It's a 32.8. Currently slowest of all the times, but no guarantee he'll go out. As things stand, Deaton invalidated his first run, out for a second.
Yeah, we are goats.
You're too kind.
What's that? What's
We took different approaches.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
We took different approaches to that comment.
Yeah, nah. It's all like, I'm messing.
Dayman's back out on track. First attempt, I think.
In the last sector.
First attempt for Dayman, I think, was... I can't remember if he has done a lap or not, but certainly it didn't count. So he's back out on track. Rosh, John, Flu, Prev, Greg, still out on track, so Pete might be in a little bit of bother here, still in the pits, but... Here comes Deaton. It's a 34.4, so as we see, Dayman go for a bit of a spin at turn 7.
He's still got enough time and enough fuel in the car.
Yeah, I think he'll get one more run in there.
But Deaton went very wide in the penultimate corner and lost about a second there.
Who else have we got? We've got Prev out there going slowly in sector 1. So might have backed off his time.
Yeah.
13 seconds down, so I think he's had a bit of a spin somewhere.
The curbs are quite nasty on this track as well.
Yeah, you've got to have enough ride height on your setup, otherwise you're just going to fly over them.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, it looks lovely, doesn't it, Fairley? I think that's why 1010 came back, because, you know, he got a new McLaren.
So Flo, you see there, with a bit of a wiggle in sector 3 and has backed off his time. Prev's invalidated. Greg has run wide at whatever it's called, 11, I think.
I think Prev and John are just doing race based on race practice.
So Damon's first attempt, 45.6 in the drop zone. One leaving us in this session. Seems to be between Dayman, Deaton and Greg, who is in the pits. So If Deton and Dayman can beat Greg, they are 100% safe. That means that Prev is safe because Greg can't beat him. So, one of those three will be heading out in Q1. Dayman the first to set a time in these closing moments.
Is it going to be enough?
To the line, it's going to be close. It's a 33.2, so he's ahead of Deton here.
Nice.
Deton half a second up in Sector 1, but Deton does need 1.2 seconds, and he's still half a second up in Sector 2 now, so needs 7 or 8 tenths in this final sector.
Yeah, he did make a massive mistake last time, so he can find it.
I have to say, Deton's pace has been much improved throughout this middle part of the season. Has been running up in the points for a few of the last races.
Oh, that's good to hear. That was a lot better than last time. Oh, I think this might do it, you know.
Across the line, it's a 33.8.
Oh, no,
and unfortunately, it's not quite quick enough.
It's a death.
And unfortunately, Deton will be heading out in Q1 and will start 16th on the grid for the race.
He just needs to work on that last sector. The rest of it is pretty good.
Yeah, I think there are a few noticeable mistakes in there. Nothing too major, but
just
even
a
the
little
smallest thing can
conservative, I guess.
Even the smallest things on this track can set you off, because you've got massive straights, so if you have a bad exit from turn 7, that will hurt you all the way down to that middle chicane.
Yeah, that's
so
very true.
But of course, points aren't earned in quali, and we've still got a race coming up.
Yep, we do indeed. All to play for. We didn't have any major casualties in that session.
Just got home from training, not seen the McLaren yet. Okay, next time McLaren's out on track, we will join it straight away.
Yeah, no pressure to the McLaren guys.
But at the moment, Fairley at the top. Only driver in the 1 minute 30s at this moment in time. We've got 7 drivers in the 1 minute 31s.
You at the back, are you decent? I didn't know that, so.
Savage. No, we were saying, Dayman, you seem to Deton, sorry, you seem to be running in the points a bit more in this middle part of the season, so I'm not too worried for you.
We know your race pace is amazing.
Hopefully that encourages you in the race.
I mean, Deaton's on the pad, isn't he?
I'm not sure. Deton, you on the pad? Or are you on a wheel? So Q2, this is where it gets a bit more serious, shall we say. 5 drivers dropping out in this session, leaving a top 10. Still not fixed that bug where it just stops a driver in the pit lane. Someone comes out.
It's not ideal.
I thought they said they did fix that in their patch. I think it was in the pit stops when unsafe release is on. I think they said that you wouldn't slow unnecessarily for another car.
Because the esports drivers have always been asking for that. It can cost them like 1 second, and that's race over if that happens.
Yeah. So
seems they haven't. Is that Mr. Wiggles?
It is. Mr. Wiggles living up to his name.
He's warming up his tyres.
Honestly, that might actually be a more efficient way of heating your tyres up on an outlap. Just do a
Could
couple of
be.
donuts.
Yeah, might work.
Pete's out on track, so here you go, TJ, just for you. It's this lovely McLaren livery, new in the game. I love the shade of pink to it with the red tyres, the orange and the pink. I think it looks
yeah, it looks really nice.
it's a bit like a cocktail, to be honest.
Yeah,
it looks good.
Yeah, it looks lovely, doesn't it?
They'll never change that bug. The bug that got me in the last game was only at France, and when you just sat in the pits, it has this like annoying beeping siren. It was. It used to drive me up the wall.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
It happened like every 30 seconds or so.
Yeah, it's quite annoying. I'm glad they sorted that one.
So, we'll go on board with Ross, our championship leader. Tends to shine more in the race than in quali, I think is fair to say.
Yeah, by the time he's done quali, he's got enough practice by then.
But you don't see Ross getting many fastest laps in the race.
No, he's just really consistent and just drives within his limits. He did do a few good laps in practice there.
He was joking with me earlier that last season here in wet conditions he crashed. Actually, it was before the wet conditions took shape, but he actually crashed at this corner he's coming around now, and my reaction on it was quite funny.
Yeah,
because Ross never crashes out.
Yeah, I put that in my highlights season, didn't I?
So John's finding some pace in Q2, 1:31.0. It's the closest so far in this session to a 1:30, which only one driver managed in Q1. That is Fairley, who's currently second, as Ross goes third, so has got a better lap time in than his Q1 run.
John's got enough practice from Q1.
Mr. Wiggles, Prev, who I have noticed an increase in pace and consistency the last few races, so Prev's getting back to his best that we saw last season.
Yeah, he's always good on his day. It's hard to shine now in this tier because everyone's improved a lot this season.
True. Goes fastest in Q2.
Path sensation.
Guess we don't really expect that from Deflated Wee. He's quite an all-round driver.
Yeah.
Deflated. He makes the odd mistake in the race here and there, but
yeah. But
on his day he can beat anyone.
He's going to improve a lot after this season because it's his first season in Nemesis, so he's going to be one to watch in probably next season.
Oh, early prediction for season 4. Love that.
Sorry about that, mate.
Looks nice. That third different livery McLaren have done this year. That included F121 in my count. I can't remember how many, but certainly there was another one last season.
Yeah, they did one last season for Monaco.
Golf. No, wait, they didn't. They didn't include the Golf one.
No, they didn't include it, did they? Unfortunately.
They did the Red Bull one, and then people were annoyed they didn't do the Golf one.
Yeah, they should have done that McLaren.
Yeah, so I don't think they did the Golf one, but that would have been nice to see the Golf McLaren F1 in that one.
I don't know how long they're keeping it on the game for, though.
If it's anything like the Ferrari, I think they'll keep it in a month.
Yeah, it's about a month.
Next patch, they'll take it out and make everyone sad again.
Yeah.
Championship is over for me. We'll just be focusing on getting constructors up for Mercedes. That's 82 in Novatec, but we've got some decent points. I was updating the driver stats earlier on and got some decent points for Mercedes in the last couple of races. So,
yeah,
that's really positive.
Just work on improving and consistency and all that.
Can only do your best.
That's very true.
From one Mercedes to another. Can Mr. Wiggles break into that top 4? Was pretty close in Sector 1 to his personal best and finds a couple of tenths in that last sector. Jumps him up to P4. Nice lap there. And we have Ghost Tamino going on at the middle chicane. So that lap is invalidated.
Yeah, it's looking very close at the front again.
And it looks pretty close in that midfield. We've got Prev, 10-10 that guy, less than 2 tenths between them. Flew and Greg are pretty close in times at the moment.
Yeah, I think
still waiting on 4 to set a lap.
There's a lot of quick guys there in the top 10. And Tamino will obviously be up there soon, you would think. Terry Jerry.
So 31.6 drops him into P6.
Yeah, should be enough, I reckon. Oh.
Has Perry spun at turn 1?
Yay. Probably just lost concentration a little bit.
It's okay. No one's in that part of the track, so he's not blocking anyone or distracting anyone. Chivers goes off track at the exit of turn 12. Tamino back in the pits. So
yeah,
maybe
it'd be interesting to see if he puts a new set on or not.
Maybe made a mistake on the end of his outlap. Got this and next lap invalidated perhaps, so
oh yeah, he might have done that.
Ducked into the pits. Should have had more points in Austria last time around, so they didn't manage to. Yeah, I was in that race on Sunday night, and yeah, thought there was definitely more points in there for you, but I think you did well to recover to where you did. So yeah, that's positive. And how has Fairley done a 1 minute 30.4?
I know, that's scary. That's amazing.
Like he's a whole second faster than Ross. Blue has improved by 9 tenths, jumping up from 11th to 7th on a 31.6, splitting Perigeri and Prev.
So 10 I've spent. He was 3 tenths up.
Blue enjoying his home track here tonight as Greg improves into the 1 minute 31s, just ahead of Pete. That guy is on the invalid lap. It's 10-10, comes back into the pits.
It might be a risk, 10-10.
Yeah, TJ, it's somehow we all know he can do that, but we never expect it until it happens.
I think it was just a perfect lap.
We say that, but I don't know.
Like his first sector was like a tenth quicker than the fadeaway, and the middle sector was 2 tenths quicker than the fadeaway.
But somehow I still expect him to go faster.
The others are
Can't explain it.
hoping not.
He's just so quick. Like,
Yeah, that's,
can't limit
it's a
what
good
he's
benchmark.
capable of doing.
That guy that's looking to improve. And then the pressure will be on 10-10 if he wants to go back out.
Prev to the line. No improvement. 0.3 off his personal best, so stays in 8th. Might find himself looking behind his shoulder slightly. That guy coming to the line. This looks like a good lap. So 31.0 and goes up into the top 3. That'll comfortably see him through.
Yeah, that's really good from that guy.
As Ghost replaces that guy as holder of 3rd place at the moment. So both of them should be comfortably through to Q3.
So the likes of Pete, Fenta and Greg, they all got to go back out again. If they want to get through.
Chivers, no valid lap time in this session so far. Same with Dayman, who's still in the pits, but
Oh yeah.
Dayman wants to get a lap time. He needs to come out of the pits imminently.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to have enough time.
Nope. There is not enough time now for Dayman or Greg or Ross or Perry-Jerry to come back out of the pits, so that is the end for Greg and Dayman in this session.
10-10 just starting a lap, and then Pete will
Flew
be
could
after.
find himself in trouble.
The two McLaren
Chivers
drivers
to the
at
line.
risk.
Chivers can only manage a 31.9, has time for another lap, but probably not the ERS for it. So that might be the end of Chivers' qualifying.
Yeah, I would say so.
Time to beat is a 31.7 set by Prev. Prev's out on track, as is 10.10 and Pete. Chivers may not have enough.
4 times up.
Chivers may not have enough ERS, as we said, so I'll have to wait and see what Chivers can manage. As the checkered flag falls in Q2.
I think 10-10 will be through if he doesn't invalidate.
Ten to the line. It's a 31.4, and that will send him through to Q3. Chivers has invalidated and will finish in 12th. Prev is out of qualifying.
Pete's also 4
he is
times up.
pitted.
Well.
So now Flew is the time to beat, and Pete is the one looking to get both McLarens into the final part qualifying. This could be very close.
Yeah, it's going to be.
As Pete comes to the line.
Yeah, it's going to be close. This is.
It's a 31.5, and he makes it through and pushes Flew out of qualifying. By less than 10.
There you do, actually. Over.
Wow, that's so close. Obviously, Fairley at the top, leading everyone by over half a second.
I wish it would show the sector time. That'd be good.
Flute 11th for the race. Prev in 12th, Chivers 13th, Greg in 14th, Dayman.
You managed to do it.
No lap time set in Q2.
Sandbagging.
Well, we can't say that Fairley's sandbagging.
I hope he isn't sandbagging. But
I've noticed that Mr. Wiggles is a lot quicker in Q3 compared to his Q1 and Q2, so sometimes you think that it's just a 1 or 2 horse race, and then all of a sudden Mr. Wiggles jumps up into the...
He does do that. And goes to him, we
so...
know he's capable as well.
Yeah.
And deflated away, he can always put one in. Once Josh becoming an assist driver.
Yeah, that's the thing with late safety cars. You just got to make sure that you don't have any time penalties or max 3 seconds. Yeah, that's the struggle in the race. If you get 3 seconds, it's not too bad, because you might be able to do some damage control, but...
Commiserations, Flute.
Big rush of cars out onto the track. 6 out in the blink of an eye. And I'm sure they'll be pretty much racing to see who can get the first lap on the board.
Of course, John was very impressive in Q2 as well.
Yes, ça va, Flu. Ça va.
Any predictions?
Oh gosh. I mean, I think Fairley, Wiggles, and Ghost will be the 3 to watch out for. I think John and Deflated Wee will put in good lap times, but I'm not sure they have the extra few tenths in the bag to get pole, but I might be wrong.
You might be. You never know.
We haven't been on board today with NVR Tamino, so...
Okay.
So we'll watch Tamino.
I'm on board with Alice, so you can tell me what sector he's going as well.
Oh, and Ghost, they stop calling him Ghost. He's not Ghost anymore. He invalidates at turn 2.
Oh.
So, who are you on board with, sorry?
Fairley. He's invalidated as well.
Oh, wow. Okay, we'll switch it up then. I'll go with Deflated Wee.
Oh,
who invalidates himself. He cut the inside of turn 7. That was strange. You don't see that happening too often. So we've got John, that guy, Ross and Wiggles, and 10-10 on valid lap times.
Wiggles is backed out as well.
Fairly is human.
For now.
It is nice to sometimes see that. It's a bit refreshing.
Never see Josh invalidating now, do you?
I've seen a few times where Josh invalidated, but...
Oh, John's invalidated as well. That guy invalidated. Everyone's invalidated this one.
Pressure's hotting up in this session then. So Ross will be...
Yeah, except Ross.
Yeah, that guy starting a new lap, as is Tamino. Ross then takes charge of this session.
Ross will be like, where are they all?
It's a 31 1 for Ross, so it's his personal best so far this evening. Wiggles comes across to set a valid lap time, but more gearing himself up for the next lap as 10:10 breaks into the 1 minute 30s.
Wow, nice one, 10:10.
I mean, we all know 10:10 has it in his locker, but
yeah, it is.
He's been out of action for the last few weeks, so maybe he's gone under the radar a little bit.
Yeah, that was 6 seconds quicker than his Q2 time from 10:10.
What can his teammate do now? Taking wide lines through Sector 3. It's a 32-1, so slots into third at the moment, but a lot of these drivers are on second runs, in fact, all of them that have invalidated initially, apart from John. Tamino ducks back into the pits, so maybe the lap isn't quite good enough for his liking, as Fairley gets a wobble at the end of the long turn 12 and invalidates yet again.
The rear went light on him.
So deflated wheat then, crossing the line. Obviously the tyres on the second run will be a bit more worn, which means it might not be the best lap time they've ever gone on this track, and it's a 31.0 for deflated whey. So again, not quite what we saw last session, but still pretty good.
Wiggles went 5th as well.
Harry Jerry jumps up into third with a 1:31.1.
Oh, good effort there.
Goes 100th ahead of Ross. That's good going from him. Anyone else on a lap? Possibly that guy? No, he's 2 seconds down. So, just waiting then for John to start a new lap.
Yeah.
Hey Rids, how you doing, mate?
Good evening, Rids. How are you, man? Commentator's curse. Yep.
No such thing.
It's our fault. It's our fault.
Doesn't exist.
We'll take the laugh.
No, we all know commentator's curse doesn't
We won't predict
exist.
what's going to happen in the race. So we might not be here next week.
I'm just going to make every prediction I can under the sun so that it doesn't happen.
He's going to win on your 50th stream.
I think Demon Jones is going to win tonight. John, a big slide out of turn 7.
Yeah.
As we were saying earlier, that will cost maybe a 10th or 2 down this whole back straight with DRS.
I might have been tempted to cancel it. But he needs a banker on the board.
Yep, I mean, as things stand, the level of lap times are actually not quite as good as maybe Q3 throws up. Track evolution means the track gets quicker the more the drivers drive on it. So really we'd expect to see a few more times in the 1 minute 30s than this, but as John just dips his car over the track limits and invalidates, so he has gone back into the pits. Fairly, this is just a banker. It will be 8th fastest, but he's gearing up for a new lap. And he's the only one out on a flyer right now, which means we will join on board. Beautifully committed through 1 and 2, taking lots of curb, but not too much. Car beautifully balanced there through that second chicane. That looks like a pretty good sector 1 to me.
Yeah, definitely. We always complain that he's an alien, but now let's
see what the alien is doing out on track.
Yeah, that looks pretty good.
50.2 in Sector 2 split. I'm not too sure how that compares to 10-10.
10-10 so.
No wiggle through turn 11 this time, which means he's avoided his mistake from last lap. So close to the track limits there. A couple of points I convinced myself that he actually went fully off track. But
yeah, that's 3 split seconds.
Obviously not. And there is your onboard lap of 1 minute 30.5.
Very good. It was a 10th of his Q2 lap though, so someone could beat it. I'll get close to it.
Drivers out on track. Ross is backed off this time. That guy is invalid. Well, has an invalid lap time, I should say. Wiggles 2 tenths down in Sector 1.
I think he cancelled.
Yeah, he's turned off the ERS, so that lap won't be quicker for Mr. Wiggles. Currently 7th fastest. Possibly a little bit out of position there for Wiggles, but still got another run to go. Deflated Wee has backed off, possibly in turns 1 and 2. He's disengaged the ERS as well. As Ghost starts a new lap. Tamino, not Ghost, not anymore. Honestly, I'm so used to calling him Ghost.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? So I think Fairley's middle sector last time was 52.0. So it'd be interesting to see if anyone does that.
Well, Tamino is coming through the chicane in the middle of the track. Got a bit too hot in the left-hander and took a lot of curb on the exit here, so might have lost a little bit of time. So 50.1 in Sector 2, so he's only a tenth away from Fairley.
Wow.
But I imagine if he nailed that middle chicane, possibly could have been on level terms. Fairley has retired and Perry Jerry has finished in 4th. Deflated Wee has finished in 3rd, no improvement on his final lap.
He's not on the 3rd foot Fairley.
Tamino could nail this last sector, has definitely a chance here. Stays to the left of the track.
Wow.
And it is pole position. Provisional pole for NVR Tamino. I think it was that last sector that clinched it there for Tamino.
Yeah, he went deep, didn't he, at the chicane? But he still did it well though. And 10-10's only a tenth of Fairley in the middle sector as well.
John improves to 4th place
It's a good
as
effort.
he crosses the line to finish his qualifying. That guy behind his teammate by a couple of tenths as Pete sets his first flying lap of the session, but can only manage 10th. Mr. Wiggles is still out on track, and all eyes on 10-10 at the moment.
It's looking like a good lap.
Definitely will be on the second row of the grid, but aiming for a spot on the front row. Across the line, it's going to be quicker, but it's not quite quick enough to get onto the front row.
That's a really good effort from 10-10.
And Mr. Wiggles, fortunately for him, will be starting 9th on the grid. We're in turn 1 on my final lap. Yeah, I had a feeling he backed out after turn 1 and turn 2. And that was still good enough for second, Fairley.
I wish I could do that. I wish I could do laps like that, mate.
Me too, mate.
Wish I could get that.
But yeah, good start on the race, and might find yourself ahead into turn 1, and I'll just have a look. Ghost Tamino. That is his 10th pole position in IRL. So congratulations, Tamino.
Well done.
Pole position number 10 in his 26th race. So 1 in 3 races he gets pole position.
That's some going.
Going to be a great Ghost Fairley battle. Still feels wrong to call him anything. Yeah, it does, but we roll with it. People change their gamer tags all the time.
I can't afford to change it every week.
No, I'm just not going to spend money on changing my gamer tag. I think people know me as Sun God now, so...
When we put the race back on dynamic, you can change it to the Rain God. It's getting to that time of year now anyway, isn't it? So, with all the rain.
So we'll turn our attention to Featured Driver. Featured Driver, in case you're not quite sure what this is, if you're new around here, it's a chance for us to get to know some of the people behind the gamer tags, behind the cockpit. This time, our resident Frenchman of our league, Flou. Flou is 30 years of age, from France near Strasbourg. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Might need to get a better French accent. For a job, he is an accountant for the biggest wine export company in France. Interesting. Dream job would be an F1 driver, as I'm sure a lot of these drivers aspire towards. Hobbies or interests: he does a lot of sport, has a house, a wife, and a little dog, so I always have things to do, he says. Racing on a TSXW racer with TM open wheel add-on, TLCM metal pedals, all on a play seat. I have Sparco shoes and gloves. Favourite driver: could be anything from Formula 1 to Rally to NASCAR. Says Sébastien Loeb and Sébastien Ogier, 2 very famous French rally drivers there. His best track on the calendar is Imola. As for his driving strengths, he says he's good at not crashing and clean driving. Certainly, I can confirm that is very true. And his hopes and goals for Season 3, anywhere in the points will do. I ask people if they have a rival that they consider anyone to be, but no rival for Flou from his perspective. As for Flou's stats in IRL, this is his 44th race, so rapidly approaching that 50 milestone. 5 podiums in total, 33 points finishes, and today if he scores over 9 points, he could hit 300 total points in IRL history.
Wow.
So Flou has been part of the furniture here for a long time, and definitely capable of scoring points every week, I'd say.
Yeah, he's a great guy, is Flou. Very lucky to have him here.
Very welcome, Flou. Chivers, call me Timmy again. And you don't want to know. If I run out of fuel, blame Padge. Unfortunately, Josh, I can't.
In advance.
Unfortunately, Josh, I can't read French, so I know the bare basics, but he could be swearing at me in French. That's what I'm worried about. So remember, no formation lapped this week.
Yeah, you don't want to forget that, do you?
So yeah, 30-second timer has started, which means When it's done, we will be heading straight into the race, and we'll try and pick up on as much as we can into the first corner. I imagine there's going to be a lot of 2, maybe 3 wide down to the run to turn 1, and there's going to be possibly a load of people going off track.
Yeah,
so
it's very tricky, isn't it? First couple of corners.
We may have to keep an eye out in the midfield and the back of the pack as well.
Yeah, I'll look at the mid pack.
So then, here come the lights. And 27 laps, so the French Grand Prix is underway. It looks like someone has failed to start. I think Perry has forgot there's no formation lap, or is not back in the driving seat, and Fairley has got ahead of Tamino into turn 1. Deflated Wee has jumped 10-10 off the start, and so has Ross. Ross maintaining his good starts here in IRL on this new game.
Yeah, 10-10 got a bit boxed in there in the first couple of corners.
But so far so good. We've got Flu and Prev battling once again out on track. This time for 11th place.
First warning for Wiggles already.
But everyone is just in a big old line, so everyone's been well behaved. As Mr. Wiggles and John look like they might be going side by side into that middle chicane, but turned out not to be. Perry Jerry, it just looked like he wasn't quite back in the.
Yeah, that's a shame, that is.
In the cockpit, but
probably
only 3 seconds adrift. Still could be in with a good race here. Mr. Wiggles, nice overtake down the inside of turn 11 of John. Sticks it round the outside of turn 12. That's a nice little move there from Wiggles, who's now up into 6th place.
And everyone started on a hard tyre as well.
Oh yes, you've reminded me to put the tyres up. Deton defending 13th from Greg. Greg's got a nice better line through turn 2. Deton might come under a bit of pressure here, who's already dropped some time to Prev. Perry Joe, you can see in the background there fighting. He is gaining on this little trio of Deton, Greg and Dayman. Deton with a bit of a wiggle, loses out to Greg. Might lose out to Deton as well here. Perry Joe will be hoping that once he catches this pack he can overtake them as quick as he can. But that top 12 are all in a line. No gaps starting really to form.
Yeah, some really good racing here.
Might turn out to be a bit of a DRS train in the next few laps. You can see how close Prev is to the back of Flu. It seems to be dropping back slightly from Chivers, who's up into the top 10 now.
Mr. Wiggles was just having a look at, nearly got past 10-10 there in the middle of the sector. Oh, little tap there with 10-10, Mr. Wiggles.
Flu looked like he opened the door in the final corner to Prev there, but manages to
John
give
into the
space
back
and
of
keep
Mr.
position.
Wiggles. Mr. Wiggles is off.
Oh dear!
I think he's got it in back row.
Yeah, he is. That's very sporting behaviour there from John.
Might have got damage as well.
Yeah, let's have a look. Nothing obvious what I can see, but might just have. Yeah. If Wiggle sends that in, John may not get a harsh penalty because of that.
Might not be as bad.
Yeah. I'm the steward, so to remember that one.
Yeah. Nah,
Flew ahead of Pete now.
Helps 10-10 out a little bit.
Yeah, 10-10 now in the middle of an AlphaTauri sandwich. Got Ross ahead of him, who is fighting Deflated Wee here. Wee, Tamino on the back of Fairley still. Fairley's not running away with this.
No, they're all staying together.
Oh, as Pete goes wide at turn 12. And Prev says, thank you very much. I will have that place. And Flute starting in 11th, up into 9th, into the points, as we see John pitting, so maybe there is some damage there.
That's unfortunate.
So I think John just let Wiggles through just to say sorry and then box for damage.
Yeah, very sporting.
Few gaps now starting to form. Lap 4 of 27, which means this is the second lap they are able to have DRS if they're within 1 second of the car ahead. It's very interesting, Novitek. Last, as we see, 10-10 getting overtaken by that guy in the AlphaTauri. But last week we saw Fairley win because he had the alternate strategy, the hard to mediums, whereas everyone else is on the medium to hard. So the fact how everyone's on the same strategy here might be a bit closer.
Clocked onto that, haven't they? And they've realised that medium in the second stint is so much better. So I think everyone's done the right thing there.
Perry making his way back up the field now. So desperately trying not to sing "Making My Way Downtown." On that occasion, gets ahead of Deaton, who looks to be fighting back there, but not quite close enough on that occasion there. Perry back into 13th now, and not too far away from some points here.
Oh, chives, Spencer's just back in centre. I don't think anyone likes Spencer's car today.
Maybe they're jealous of that McLaren and they want to run it off the road.
He's got a target on his car.
So Chivers, as Mr. Williams loses it. Turn 2, he's spun.
No.
Oh, and that's cost him a load of places. Behind Perry, behind his teammate now into 15th. That's John. Boxes once again.
Oh dear. Maybe he wants to put the half
maybe he wanted to fix the front wing, but the damage wasn't big enough.
Oh, maybe they didn't change it.
Yeah. And yeah, that is true. As Deflated Wee is cutting the middle chicane.
I think he comes together with Ross, maybe.
There was either contact, but they certainly were very close going into that corner. Deflated Wee's fighting his fighting the place. Ross has to sit behind him. Looks for a move up the inside of 12. Wee gives the space. These two are now losing time to the top two as Ross goes wide at 13.
Be interesting to see if anything gets sent in for that. The Deflated Wee takes a really much different line.
As Wiggles in the chat got rear and diffuser, I'm out. So contact with John. Wiggles has rear wing damage.
Oh man, that sucks, man.
So here comes Ross round the outside of Deflated Wee. Beautiful move there with the DRS, slightly more straightforward than.
Oh, commiserations. I think Ross has got the pace to catch the top two here, and he could probably drag Deflated Wee along with him.
If I was Deflated Wee, I would just sit behind Ross here and see what Ross's pace is like. In a couple of laps, if Ross isn't gaining, go for a move and try and close in on that top two, because the longer that those top two are lapping at this pace, Ross and Wee are not going to catch him.
But he's doing his own thing and gets back past.
Ooh, Wee gets a bit of a snap out of the middle chicane and loses the place to Ross. This is now bringing that guy, 10-10, and Chivers into the fight for a potential podium.
Yeah, and that guy does have the penalty as well.
Join with Tamino and has a massive snap.
Yeah, a lot of them are doing really good saves on this race.
Oh, as 10-10 now gets time penalty, and
Yeah, I think everyone is going to get at least one penalty in this race, I would say. So I wouldn't worry about it.
well, it's more crucial for these top two not to get a penalty, because it could cost them a race win here tonight.
All chives on the moment.
Chivers with a penalty now, loses 3 seconds now behind 10-10, so he's had a massive moment there. And these two, Ross and we, are now losing time on the top two. The more they fight, the slower they will be, and potentially might open a door.
Yeah, there can always be safety car and all.
Oh, as Chive spins at 7.
Oh.
No damage, but obviously that's sent him now out of the points. Perry Jerry now back into the top 10. That's been a good recovery here from Perry. Obviously, with stuff happening to Wiggles, John and Chivers, that Perry's up 3 places automatically. As 10-10 gets past that guy, both of these two struggling on ERS management.
And with Depleted Way and Ross battling, 10-10 might be able to catch him up.
Potentially. Gap is currently 2 seconds. Fairley comes across the line to start lap 8 and pulls the fastest lap out of his back pocket. So Fairley saying to Tamino here, I've got pace in me, mate. Can you keep up? Battles happening up and down the fields. There's little clusters of fights happening in every corner.
Yes, great to see. Oh, 10-10 at the moment, but he corrected it, but he's lost the face to that guy.
Biggest fight is 4 drivers battling for 7th, Prev defending from Flu, Pete and Perry Jerry. So 4 different constructors battling for 7th. Prev trying to cut the slipstream away from Flu by weaving to the left hand side of the track and back to the right hand side for the corner.
Go on, Craig.
Craig with the soft tyre, taking fastest lap off of Fairley. And these two having a nice little battle, 10-10 and that guy. 10-10 just goes off track. The guy gets back ahead, 10-10 sticking his nose back the inside of 12. That guy fully off track. 10-10 slots in behind. Really good racing, I have to say.
Yeah, that guy not too quick in the last sector.
Everyone's in a battle.
Great pace,
Everyone's in a battle on track in the top 12. That's what you want to see.
Yeah, definitely. That's not
that
good for that
second
guy.
Time penalty. And Deflated Wee was really close to the back of Ross there through turn 3 and 4, but just got too much into 4 and lost a bit of time.
Yeah, they've lost like 3 seconds to the top 2.
Fairly breaking the slipstream. These two in a very intense mind game right now.
Yeah.
To me, there's not in a bad space in terms of ERS management, but obviously
Greg's out of spin.
when you're running close to a car behind, it might just increase the tyre temperature, which means that tyre wear might be bad running this close.
He's lost the rear.
Oh, that's such hard luck for Flu. Still in the points.
He's going to have to be really
Still
slow
might recover this. Needs to be careful that he doesn't spin again.
He just lost the rear coming out of that slow right-hander in the middle sector.
It's cost Pete a lot of time now. He's now 3 seconds behind Prev, so Pete's now under pressure from Perry Jerry. Prev has some space and some room to work with. Maybe might try and challenge the 2 drivers ahead of him with time penalties. Looks like Flew just cut turn 3 there. So might have a warning.
Drag with a rare penalty.
You don't see that very often, do you?
No.
Ross racing well. Championship leader up in 3rd, on for another podium in IRL.
Racking them up.
Honestly, he's done... This is 103rd race, and this would be his 57th podium.
Wow, that's like every other race he gets a podium. Like,
Yeah.
that's all you have to do is for the championship as well. Just keep bringing home podiums at the moment.
And Tamino has gone for the move. Fairley knew it was coming. Tamino ahead of Fairley now. Change for the leads. Now I wonder what Fairley's plan will be here. Will he go for the overtake back into the lead?
Or he could save his battery maybe.
Possibly. That's... If you're wondering why we don't have telemetry in the race, it's just so drivers can't get an unfair advantage by seeing how much ERS the driver in front of them has.
Just look like he's
just to make it a bit more fair.
TD was late, he was making food. I've not heard that one before. Good evening, mate. How you doing? Oh.
Evening, mate. Tamino wide at 11. Fairley overtakes for the leads.
That might have been strategic there, thinking I'll just get him by on the next straight.
Possibly.
Wonder how long the mediums can last.
So I imagine we'll probably see a pit stop around like 15, maybe 14 if some drivers are going for an undercut.
And Ross gained a second on the top 2 on that lap.
Well, Tamino went wide and Fairley had to overtake, so the more that these two fight, the more that Ross is back in the fight here.
The gap was 5.3 and now it's 4.6.
TD.
Yeah, Tantan's out, just come out of retirement. It's great to have him back.
Qualified P3 today, TD.
Yeah, great comeback.
So, as Chivers fighting with Deaton, swapping places like the Conservative Party is swapping party leader. Dayman getting overtaken by Chivers with the DRS. It's the middle chicane.
Magic.
It's bonjour, Magic.
Bonjour.
Flew was in a fight with Prev Pete and Perry Jerry, but had a bit of a spin. Still in the points though.
Still 15 remain.
Yellow flag in sector 1, and John has had a bit of a spin.
Yeah, he kind of needs a set guard, doesn't he, John?
And Fairley is starting to put the hammer down again. I reckon Fairley is more comfortable in these hard tyres than NVR Tamino, who gets a 3-second time penalty.
Oh dear.
Could that be race over in terms of the race win?
Not too sure. I think it's still a long way to go. A lot can happen.
John did a Tim.
He sure did.
Touche. I'll get you back. So, Deflated Wheel and Ross now renewing their intense fight. They are losing some ground where Ross was gaining on the top two. Now they've lost a couple of seconds.
Fairley practically pushes Ross along.
Yeah, he is. And great
Really
fight, has to be said.
With the float degree, his pace has really come on strong. On the pad, of course.
John, time penalty, down in 15th. Obviously him and Greg will need a bit of a safety car situation to help them out if they want to score some points tonight.
Yeah,
John tapping Mr. Wiggles into turn 1 earlier in the race, gave Mr. Wiggles rear wing damage. That's why he's retired at the pits. And John had to box for damage, but the game didn't automatically do it, so had to pit a second time. That's why he's so far back. Well, I feel like Ross and Wee are missing a trick here. They can see that Tamino's got a 3-second penalty. Yeah. So really, the smart thing is to try and work together to gain that gap, so they can both get onto the podium. But we see it more often than not that drivers are just content with battling the driver in front of them, and obviously the more you battle, the more that you allow them to slip away.
Yeah, you just got to work together sometimes. But, you know, I think they both just enjoy battling each other, don't they?
I mean, I'm not saying they're wrong. I mean, if Deflated Weed gets ahead of Ross in this strategy, then he gets the podium, so...
Tamino pits?
Yeah, he gained a lot in this lap to Fairley, and it just seemed like he was dumping his energy, possibly going for an undercut. He needs to make the first move here.
Pitted as well. So it'd be interesting to see where they come out with Ross and Fairley.
Perigeri pits and speeds in the pit lane. 5-second penalty for Perigeri. That's going to be costly.
No. I'll whisper you in a bit, Manan. Thank you for the follow.
Yeah, appreciate that, man.
Manan Kumar F1.
These two still fighting, 10-10 and that guy.
Is the undercut powerful, is it, at France?
It's a very long track. I think it's...
And Tamino didn't come out with any traffic, so that'd be good for him.
If he gets some DRS on Pete, this might actually be really crucial, because he can gain more on the straights as well. Deflated Wee has the DRS on Dayman, gets past.
Yeah, that could be crucial, getting out ahead of us with that DRS.
Obviously, making that overtake might have cost him a little bit of time himself, so... Chivers and Flu going side by side.
Whoa!
Chivers off the track. Oh my goodness.
I thought they would come together there.
A couple of moments there where I was expecting someone to fly off the track. That guy pits from third. 10-10 is now 3 seconds behind him, so 10-10's made a mistake in this lap and has lost a big chunk of time. And both of these pitting. Oh my goodness! Chivers trying to overtake Fluke into the pit lane. Oh no, 10-10.
Oh, what a time to spin.
Fairley and Ross stay out.
So,
The likelihood that Tamino and Deflated Wee will get an undercut is more powerful. But Fairley and Ross's tyres will be in a better shape for the end of the race.
I think
TD, you're so mean. Tamino now gaining on Prev, who is yet to pit and in 4th place. It's been a good race from Prev so far. Consistent, escaped that group of 4 drivers and
yeah, it has.
And plodding along, racing his own race. Nice consistent pace he's going.
I wonder if the hard runners are thinking Matt put the softs on, if they stay out a few more laps.
Maybe. Maybe. Tamino now close to losing time, stuck behind Prev. Prev goes to the outside of the track where he will box. So Tamino might get the DRS here. No, he doesn't. Ross pits. And all eyes now on Deflated Wheat as he comes round the final corner. Ross is coming out of the pit lane now. See in the foreground, it's going to be very close. And Deflated Wee, he's so close. Ross's tyres won't be at a good temperature, which means Deflated Wee has the advantage right now.
Oh, how late was that? It might have been better.
This is not. It's not too bad for Ross because he's got 2 lap fresher tyres and he's still in the DRS of Deflated Wee.
And obviously that guy's got a 5-second margin of content because he had that spin, unfortunately.
Fairley pits. No doubt he'll go on to a set of medium compound tyres. I think it's too early to pit for a soft, so I'm not sure that strategy's on. Ross and Deflated Wee battling. Bit of wheel contact. Ross, beautiful switchback manoeuvre. Not sure it's going to work as Tamino comes round the final corner, but Fairley is overtaken for the lead of the race. And that undercut has worked, but of course Tamino has the time penalty, so this is good news for Tamino because he hasn't got Fairley in the DRS
yeah, that's
behind.
true, yeah.
So Tamino can try and get a 3-second gap here. Fairley's job is to try and maintain that gap and not get a time penalty himself. Very close there in turn 4 between Ross and Wee. And that guy is right back into this fight now. I know he's got time penalties, but
yeah, he's got a great recovery, that guy.
And this is what you mean, like, before the pit stops, these two were, what, 5 seconds behind the top 2?
Yeah, that's it.
Now Ross is almost 10 seconds adrift of Fairley.
Yeah, it's
and 12 seconds off of the lead.
All that battling.
Ten is in 6th place after his pit stop and has a 6-second gap on Prev. I believe 10.
Yeah,
how many penalties has he got? He's got 6 seconds, so it's going to be close between him and Prev. Perry Jerry in 8th. Nice recovery from missing the start of the race for some reason. Dropped a few seconds on the whole grid.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Fell to the back, but that 5-second time penalty might cost him some points here if he's not careful. Fairly starting to put the hammer down. Gap now down to 1.1 seconds out front.
Oh, another penalty for that guy. That's like 9 now, I think.
Yep, he should be still ahead of 10-10 as things stand, but any more and he'll be...
Yeah. I think he will get one
touch
more.
and go with Prev.
Yes, and the undercut did work on this track.
For the championship, Fairley will, as things stand with that time penalty for Tamino, will take his 4th race win in a row. His 5th podium in the 5 races he's had this season.
Yep.
Ross in 3rd, leading the championship, so Fairley will gain 10 points, maybe 11 if he has fastest lap on Ross. But if Fairley finishes 2nd, he only pulls away 3 points from Ross, so it's quite crucial from this point in that Ross is on the podium and Fairley wins this race from their perspective.
Yeah. That's the fastest lap.
Goes for the move. Tamino parks the car in exactly the right spot. Perfect.
Yeah, very clever.
Perfect defence for any drivers out there watching.
Just parking it on the apex.
Tamino needs a good exit here from turn 7, otherwise Fairley can use the DRS and try and get ahead here, but looks like Tamino has had a good exit.
And Ross pulling away from deflated wheel as well.
I think deflated wheel was probably quicker on the hard tyres, but I think Ross is quicker on those mediums.
Yeah.
He's starting to gain now to this top 2.
And that guy might have a look here. Oh, he did.
Ross looking more confident by the moment of a podium here tonight.
Yeah.
And he goes for the move. He makes a slight mistake going a bit too deep into 12 there, but staying ahead. It's a nice little battle here, but we're going to join this battle for the leads. Fairley with the DRS. He's alongside. He is ahead and takes the leads. And Tamino's spun.
Oh no.
Oh, he's made a huge mistake. I'm not sure it was a full spin, but I think he had a massive snap and had to correct it. And this could bring Ross right back into play.
Cost him about 5 seconds, I think.
So Ross needs to be within 3 seconds of Tamino. He's now 4.3. So it's not job done for Ross. Needs to put in a good shift in this final 7 laps. But Fairley, the race win is there for the taking. And Ross has taken another half a second out of Tamino this lap already.
Chivers is at a spin again.
Yep, Chivers
It's
on
quite,
pad, of course.
Yeah, it's hard to adjust, especially with no assist as well.
He had a really good qualifying session, considering he's on pad.
Yeah.
But I think for the race, doing those 27 laps in a row is just really tough when you're transitioning from pad to wheel or wheel to pads. It's Fairley sets a new fastest lap of the race. Doesn't need it, but he'll take it happily.
Yeah, definitely.
Gaps now starting to form throughout this grid. Pete, really good exit out of the final corner. Perry Jerry parking his car on the right hand side of the track. Chivers pits, where he retires.
Yeah.
13 runners left. Still can't get used to the turn delay. Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, it's a lot different.
Pad to wheel, or wheel to pad, I should say. Yeah, unfortunate, Chivers, but you had a really good quali. Really impressed with your pace and quali tonight. So I'm not going to say the race has become boring, because it hasn't. We've had plenty of action, but it has just mellowed down a little bit.
Yeah, now it's about if Ross can get within 3 seconds of Tamino, and Prev if he can get within 6 seconds of 10-10.
Deflated Wee is due to jump ahead of that guy and stay in 4th. That guy with 9 seconds, so...
Yes, a lot.
So if we don't get any more time penalties, we're pretty much sure of how people are going to finish. Perry Jerry is with 5 seconds of time penalties, which means Flew might jump up into 9th. And he's just gone a bit too deep there into turn 1, so Flew might have a bit of an advantage in this opening sector. But only 4 laps remaining, plus the one they're on. So this definitely is... Oh, and Tamino's made a huge mistake. And Ross is now 1 second away.
Oh, Perry Jerry's on spin as well.
I can't remember which race it was, but Tamino has been in race-winning situations before and has spun.
Bahrain, I remember.
And has lost the win because of it. Was it Bahrain?
Season. I think, yeah. He spun out on lap 2, I think it was.
Yeah, I think you're right. This happened before. I think it's the only part of his rate is racecraft that just needs to be ironed out slightly.
Yeah.
Apart from that, he could be a championship winner.
He can definitely win championships. Yeah, he's definitely got speed. Just got to work on a consistency. Like someone like Ross, who's got great consistency. And deflated away as well.
Obviously, with the reintroduction this season of Fairley, it makes all of these drivers' jobs harder to win a championship.
Oh, definitely.
So,
Perry Jerry
retires in the pits.
That's a nice point for Damon then, if he can keep it.
Yeah, we'll put the penalty situation up with a few laps left, as 10-10 gets now 9 seconds, which means he will get overtaken by Prev and Pete, his teammate. So,
yeah, 10-10 made a mistake. Prev's right behind him now.
Yeah, 10-10 needs to be careful here that he doesn't finish within 9 seconds of Flew, because it's pretty close at the moment. Yeah, 10-10's just under 9 seconds behind 10-10 now, so...
Hoping he's got enough fuel in the car.
Good point. Hey Kate, hope you're well.
Hello Kate. Yeah, it's not good enough for me to get here early next time. Only kidding.
Jerry retired Snack, so that's just his car coming out of the pits. Don't worry, I've fallen for that a few times. It's been an interesting race. Quali was Fairley's.
Yeah, Quali was
Tamino's. Tamino took pole. Fairley couldn't quite hook up the best lap to take pole position, but took the lead into turn 1. We had contact with John John's front wing and Mr. Eagles' rear wing. As a result, John had to pit for damage, but the first pit stop didn't fix the front wing, so he went into a second pit stop, and that's why he's at the back of the field, and there's been no safety cars to bring him back into this.
Respect to him for keeping going. Right.
Mr. Wiggles retiring with rear wing damage, so race over from his perspective.
Oh, Prev and 1010 come together.
Oh no! Oh, that's so unfortunate.
Like the cars are glued together.
Exotic Planes raiding, thank you very much, mate. Hope you're well. Joining us for the final couple of laps. Just doing a bit of a race summary.
I really hope 1010 doesn't retire phenomenal.
You can see the situation happening. Fairley leading this race, not going to turn this opportunity down to score his 4th race win in a row. Tamino was up there fighting with Fairley, but got the 3-second time penalty, got the undercut in the pit stop, but spun, and now is due to lose second to Ross, who has had another consistent race, but Fairley has been on a different planet tonight.
Yeah, Fairley's not even had a warning, I don't think.
Has he not had a single warning?
No, I'll just double check. Oh, he's had one warning.
Yeah, Exotic, how was your stream, mate? What you been up to?
Yeah, thank you for the raid, I appreciate that.
10, 12 seconds now means that he's going to lose 9th place to Dayman. Flew into the points, once again keeping it clean. Will be rewarded with a nice little 8th place on his home race. Our featured driver flew here tonight.
1010's had a lot of bad luck with coming together with drivers this season.
Well, he's got new glasses, so maybe it's his own fault.
Yeah. And he's still got fuel as well, so.
League race round Austria came second in both races. Congratulations, mate. Well done.
I lost having a look at Tommy now. Don't tangle up.
The last thing you want now is to crash and lose a podium. Deflated Wee's due to jump up into 4th ahead of that guy. Ross doesn't need to overtake Tamino on track. Fairley, he's done everything he needed to do. It was Tamino's mistake that has given Fairley this race win. Ross engaged in a big fight with Deflated Wee in the middle part of this race, and as a result lost a big chunk of time on the top 2. But really, it's been about this guy once again. Fairley, 4 podiums in the last 4 podiums in the last 4 races, and it's his 4th win in a row. Fairley takes the checker flag in France. Tamino, could have possibly been a race win after a beautiful undercut on Fairley, but in the end it was just an unforced error here, which has cost him 2nd place to Ross, who takes his 57th podium in IRL. Such an incredible stat.
Congratulations.
We finishes ahead of that guy in 4th. Prev, another really consistent drive from him. He stayed out of trouble. His pace has been good. Peter's come back at him in the last stages, but not quite enough. And Prev will take 6th. Pete will take 7th. At one point it looked like Flew would finish with just 1 point, but gets 4 in the end, with 10-10's mistakes and time penalties tonight.
A good recovery from Flew to get up to 8th.
And I think 10-10... Oh, it's going to be close.
Oh,
1 millisecond. Wow. 10-10 keeps 9th in the end by 1 millisecond.
Unbelievable.
What's your flag number, sir? I don't actually know where you're from, bro. So AMS Fairley, his 4th win on the bounce, his 9th race win in 38 races, and that makes it podium number 20 for AMS Fairley. That's the podium every other race on average. Ross, he only loses 7 championship points to Fairley, but will extend his lead in the championship by just over 60 points, I reckon, now.
Congratulations to Damon, 1,000 of a second.
Tamino ends up on the podium, but what could have possibly been a race win here tonight. Deflated Wee, really good battle with Ross earlier on, but just didn't quite have the pace on those medium tyres and finishes 4th. That guy Prev, Pete, Flew, 1010 Dayman all take home some points here tonight. Wiggles, Greg, Shivers, Perry Jerry not classified here, and John, Deton classified runners. So, Padge, who's going to be your driver of the day tonight?
Driver of the day. Phew, put me on spot there. Would you have to give it to Fairley? What would you say?
I'm happy with giving it to Fairley.
Who else was good tonight?
Let's give it to Fairley, I think. Excuse me.
I think Fairley, no mistakes.
I think
no
Ross has had a
penalties.
good race as well.
Yeah, Ross has had a great race as well. Deflated Wheel was really good on the hard tyres. And I think 1010 had a couple of was unfortunate a couple of times in the race, but it's good to see him finish with a point finally.
Bosnian flag isn't in the game, that's a shame. Hopefully that gets added to you soon, mate. So yeah, that has been our race here tonight. No assist here, round 12. We are into the second half of the season, and the championship hunt is getting just started here. Ross extends his lead tonight, but Fairley is on a roll. Can he win next week in... Gosh, where are we next week? Is it Hungary?
Hungary, yeah, I think it's Hungary next week.
Hungary next week. So if you're hungry for more action, why not join us next week?
Thank you everyone for watching.
Yeah, thank you everyone to everyone who's been in the chat. Thank you, Padge.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're welcome.
Milestones for us tonight, streaming. So
I'll be here most weeks. So yeah, worries.
Beautiful. We are going to raid Kia. He's on Formula 1 2022. Hopefully you guys enjoy. We got streams on Thursday and Sunday this week. Join us on Assist Tier 1 on Thursday. What's happened there? The raid just cancelled. Let's try again.
Oh yeah. Cancel the contract.
Yeah, Thursday, join us for Assist Tier 1. Sunday is Assist Tier 2 here at France.
It's the incredible.
Have a really good week, guys. Have a really good week, and we'll see you later.
Ciao. And we're back. Commiserations, mate.